Okay, what is going on, everybody? Sorry, just realized something. Oh. Okay, just realized something real quick. Some sort of weirdness real quick with the, but it looks like we're good now. Okay, everything looks like it's good. Sorry about that. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Robeytech. I was getting something fixed on the the Steam Deck. Sorry, the Stream Deck. It was like basically being super weird. So sorry about that. I know there was like, did you guys hear the intro twice, or did you only hear it once? I just didn't know who do you guys know? Did you hear it once or twice? Okay, so you did hear it twice. Okay, so I was just fixing where it was actually supposed to play from an audio standpoint. So I apologize, because you're probably like, where is the guy? So I am here. Guys, welcome to the final part of this 14900 KS series that we were doing in partnership with Intel and Newegg. The first one that you guys saw, obviously we did a full custom water-cooled build that basically Mikey P ended up winning. We then built a NV7 build that was custom water-cooled by the team over at TechTuber. You guys saw that with the NV7 build, and then that got built, that got given away to Mr. Avery. And then now what we have is we have this system, which is going to be given away as well. But this one is actually going to be direct die custom water cooled. So this one, by the time we've gotten finished with this, we have built this PC. We will have built a PC that's exact same specs. That was with an AIO. We've built a PC that was just custom water cooled in an NV7, and then this one is actually direct die water cooled. And you guys are going to see me putting in the tubes and stuff today, and then we'll finish it out, and then we'll do some benchmarking to see how a basically direct die water cooled system actually goes. And then this one will be going up next week in terms of some of the celebration around Intel's coverage at Computex, etc. That we'll be giving away in partnership with Newegg. That this will be given away on Gleam, but that doesn't mean that today, I just noticed, that doesn't mean that today there's not a prize for you guys to win. In fact, there is, and I'm gonna turn it on right now. So, the other thing that we're gonna be giving away today on stream is we're gonna be giving away a 14900K. Now, the 14900K, we're also, like, you have the opportunity for us to put other parts with it. So as you guys do more, subs, etc., we'll actually add to the overall prize pack that we'll be giving away at the very end of the stream. And so what we'll be doing is we'll be giving away, if we get to 75 subs, we'll give away a 1 terabyte NVMe. If we get to 250 subs, we'll actually give away a motherboard with that, and then we'll add a PSU. So as the subs go, eventually we could actually give away an entire 14900K system as well. Now, Brendan Kellen says, hey, doesn't direct die actually void Intel's warranty? Absolutely, but if you have any issues with this, obviously this is a giveaway that we're doing in partnership with Intel, so if there was a problem, we would obviously take care of it. The good thing is that there isn't. We've already benched this, we've already tested it, we know this is fine, so all you have to do is just basically fill the loop when you get it, turn it on, and enjoy all of the awesomeness that goes with it. Do you have a preference of us watching on Twitch or YouTube? Nope. You guys can basically watch wherever you want to watch. I just want you to be able to enjoy it. So yeah, that's the thing. Has had his system direct die cooling. Yeah, we're going to be basically showing off. Now, one thing we're not going to obviously do here on the show is that I'm going to, through the power of almost like a cooking show, when I open this up, you'll actually see that this build, and that's because we had to make sure that we got it done on the stream today. We had to make sure that this build was actually going to be able to something we could complete today, because the last time when I tried to do an end-to-end system live on the stream, it ended up taking us 9 hours. So this one has actually had a little bit of pre-cooking show stuff done. So what we've done is we've actually got everything essentially to the point where we're ready to put in the tubes. They've already been pre-cut, and then we can essentially fill it and all that sort of stuff. So there's no RAM clicks today. This is all about water cooling and showing you the work that we had to do to essentially get it to the point where we can direct die water cool the system. The other thing we're not going to be showing, because it takes about an hour to do, is actually the direct die. We're actually not going to show you how to basically do a direct die or delid a 14900 KS, because guys, the process is actually pretty incredible to get it to happen. I do want to let you guys know, I don't know, let me see if we actually have one. I'll show you guys here in a minute. This process is not without its dangers, okay? Let me see if I can. So just so you guys know, this process is not without its dangers. In fact, we actually have a broken 14900 KS that we did during the direct die process. So I'll tell you, I mean, during the delidding process, to kind of show you, this is why they do things like void the warranty and stuff like that when they do. So here you guys go. This is. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about that here in a minute, like why delid the processor. So this is a 14900 KS right here. And you know, this is all for educational purposes, and huge shout out to Intel and Newegg for letting us do this. So this is a 14900 KS processor that has been delidded, but the problem is this one actually broke. So which is why this process is not something that is for the faint of heart. So you actually can see here that the actual 14900 KS die broke as part of this. So it's actually not something that you can do pretty straightforward. So this is not something that, this is not something that you should actually doing, that you're considering delidding. We actually are gonna do a video on how to essentially delid a 14900 KS because it is a process. Actually, EK did an incredible video on the whole thing all up to basically show how to do it, and we essentially use their steps. The big thing is that what you got to do is either using a heat gun, you can use a torch, or you can use an oven. In all of those cases, you actually have to bake the CPU, get it to a certain temperature. It takes about half an hour or whatever it was to actually do delidding. So the reason that this whole build took so long for us to do is that we really wanted to make sure that we did our research to be able to show you what we could do in like a 2.5 hour stream. That would actually be pretty straightforward. So anyway, we're not going to show delidding, but this is a delidded processor. Now somebody said, hey Robey, why would you delid a processor? Well, there's a couple of things to just kind of note. So there's 3 ways, or actually there's 4 ways that you can actually cool a PC. The first one, pretty straightforward, is an air cooler. You guys have seen tons of those installations and stuff like that right here on Robeytech, where we basically put that on there. The whole thing is powered by air. It has essentially fins that dissipate heat, and we've done everything from like an AK620 all the way up to a Noctua DH15. We've also done stuff, so we've also done like an MA624, the new Corsair A115. So those are air coolers. They're kind of the simplest way to do it. They have the least amount of moving parts, and they usually last the longest. The second one, which you guys have seen a ton here on Robeytech as well, is actually AIOs, with which we actually have a whole song for and all that sort of stuff. So that's AIOs, and those are basically closed-looped, water-cooled, or sorry, actually liquid-cooled. I shouldn't say water, liquid-cooled cooling systems that have a glycol water mix that's secret from manufacturer to manufacturer. And it basically uses a cold plate to basically go up to a radiator, and then it uses the radiator itself to basically dissipate heat. And those have a tendency to be more efficient and more effective at cooling, especially on higher end CPUs. And that's just because of their ability to dissipate heat. So you usually have like a cap for essentially cooling air cooling a CPU, and then you have a cap for essentially AIO cooling a CPU as well. Then you have your next tier of cooling, and you guys have seen this. This is why we did what we did with the fine folks over at TechTuber, where we use the NV7. And at that point in time, we do what custom liquid cooling. What custom liquid cooling allows us to do is it allows us to add a number of radiators and more into the water cooling system. So in other words, even though like at some point in time, the water will essentially saturate with the heat, but for the most part, because it can go through a system so much, it allows us to have a larger surface for cooling, and therefore it brings our temperatures down and allows us to do more pushing. The last one, AKA direct die cooling, what it does is it takes the IHS, the integrated heat spreader, and it takes it off and it puts something way more efficient. And there's both an AIO way to do this, which is available via EK water block, and then there's actually a custom water-cooled way of doing this, which is actually what we're doing today. And both of these, what you do is you literally take the CPU, and I know this one's broken, but you take the CPU essentially down to this. The CPU that we actually have is all cleaned up. You basically clean the entire top off. You take off all of the stuff, and then that sits inside of the socket, and then there's a special thing that goes on top of it, and then you put the water block on top of that. And then that water block actually has a specific place to essentially go around it, and then now what's happening is it's drawing heat directly off of the CPU die, and then allowing us to be more efficient with our cooling. So the reason that you actually do direct die cooling is to essentially it gives you the most effective cooling that you can do. And you guys will see here when we do the benchmarks and stuff like that with the system, just how effective direct die cooling can actually be. So then and then finally, okay, so Starry Messenger was like, actually, Robey, there's actually a whole nother one. And yes, that is extreme overclocking, or what's called liquid nitrogen and basically helium level cooling, where basically it's hard to call that cooling because, again, you don't actually end up with a functional PC. It's just, at that point in time, it's about hitting world records and stuff like that. So I don't consider that really in the same level of this, because that's not really a PC enthusiast, like, I'm gonna run liquid nitrogen cooling all the time for my PC, versus like any of these other methods can be something that you use on a regular basis. Somebody who gets this PC is gonna be able to use this for pretty much forever, outside of just having to do the maintenance for the loop and all that sort of stuff. But outside of that, it's pretty straightforward. So I hope that by giving you guys a little bit of insight into why we do what we do from the cooling standpoint and everything like that, you guys kind of get some perspective in terms of what that is. So yeah, liquid nitrogen and liquid helium are definitely not consumer-friendly ways of doing cooling. It's also very, very expensive. Not that this isn't cheap either. And so that came up there where T-Man was like, hey, well, why, Robey, are you using a 4080, a 4080 FE versus something like a 4090? Well, that's because of the giveaway rules, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, when you do PCs and you do PC giveaways, they can't be over $5,000. So we actually had to bring the price down, given all of the other components that are inside of this, to make sure that it fit underneath that whole price range, so it doesn't jump into another tax bracket and make it a real nightmare for you guys, because that's the big deal. So that's why we have a 4080 paired inside of the system. So now that I've done all that and I've given you guys a little bit of a history lesson, which hopefully you learned something, I did want to talk to you guys a little bit about the giveaways that we are doing here on the stream. So we do have the usual giveaway, so head on over to youtube.com/Robeytech Live, hit that thumbs up button. Once we get 250 likes, we'll give away a $25 Newegg gift card, which again, sponsored for today's stream. The second thing that you guys can do is, if we get a level 5 hype train, we'll unlock another $25 Newegg gift card. And then the last one is that we're going to be giving away a 14900K as part of the festivities today. No, we're not giving away a KS. We're going to give away a K, because all in all, like, the thing is, the KS is for the top-end, high-end PC enthusiast. All in all, like, these are things where you need let's be clear, you need very specific AIOs, or you need very, very specific cooling requirements, and then giving something like that away is kind of a harder thing, versus giving a 14900K, which you can use an average 360 millimeter AIO. You can actually, freaking Corsair did it on a 120 millimeter AIO, but a lot more reasonable from a price versus giving away a KS. So that's why we're giving away a K. Also, like I said, if we basically upgrade, the more subs that we get today, the bigger the prize pool is going to become. So then we'll add a 1 terabyte NVMe, then we'll add a motherboard, then we'll add a PSU, then we'll add a case, and then eventually, if we get enough subs over the course of this stream today, which is only about 2.5 hours today, then what we'll do is we'll actually give away as much of a PC as we actually can. So it's up to you guys to basically make the pool bigger. If not, the minimum we'll give away is a 14900K and maybe some gift cards. The maximum, who knows? Somebody might walk away with 3/4 of a PC build, which is actually pretty awesome. So it's like a subathon, but it's a short subathon, given that it's only 2.5 hours. Somebody says links are not working for me. Okay, so the other thing too, let's talk about this real quick. Here are the parts we're putting inside of the PC that is here today. So we're using an Intel Core i9 14900KS. We're using an MSI MPG Z790 Carbon Wi-Fi motherboard. For the GPU, we use the NVIDIA RTX 4080 Founders Edition. We have 3 terabytes of Kingston Renegade NVMe storage. So this is Gen 4 storage. storage with close to 7,000 megabits read-write. You have a 32 gigs of 6,000 megatransfer Kingston Fury RAM. You have a Lian o11 Evo RGB black that was customized by the team over at Blue Horse Studios, which is this beautiful dragon. It matches the MSI dragon. It's Year of the Dragon, so there's a bunch of kind of cool stuff that goes with it. This is all custom water-cooled, direct die custom water-cooled from the team over at EK Waterblocks. And then we're using an MSI MPG A1000G PSU. So that means that you do have room on top of that 4080 and of course the 14900KS to do any overclocking, which you guys will see by temperatures is very, very possible when you're gonna get the temps that we're gonna get on a direct die, when we're gonna do a direct die cool like what we're doing right now. So just giving you guys a tour of the build in terms of what we've accomplished already. And what I'm gonna, actually, believe it or not, guys, I'm actually gonna use our, we're gonna use our Lazy Susan today to kind of do some of this. So, but all in all, like just to make it a little bit easier. So let me move this so we can kind of show you where things are in the build process. And people might ask, Robey, about how much time does a build of this caliber take? You know what I mean? To do what we essentially did. This build probably takes closer, I think, for the most part, just given all the modifications we had to do to the case and some other things, you're looking at 12 to 14 hours of work to essentially pull something like this off. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. What is somebody saying that some website, what links aren't working? Trying to see, somebody saying that some links and stuff aren't working. Do we know what's not? I'm trying to see. Okay, so people are saying the links work. Okay, good. Okay, well then we'll leave it alone. Okay, people are saying it's working. Okay, what are we working on? Okay, cool. So this was teamwork, right? Obviously when we do builds like this, but I have done many a build, so it's definitely not a, I am capable of doing these builds too, so. Okay, so let's go to the side view here. So here's a side view of the build as it sits now. So how we're basically doing our loop is we have distroplate from EK Waterblocks. This is the Lian Evo distroplate. This was not specifically made for the Evo RGB. The main reason I love to do distroplates is, again, you get a lot of those even tube lines across here. And then of course, then we have their regular fittings. They're all in their satin black. Our radiators and our Fantex fans, what you're seeing here is that we're using Fantex D30 fans, and then we have super, super thick radiators. So again, we're talking about crazy, like over 30 millimeters thick in terms of our radiators, plus we have the 30 millimeter thick D30s that are on top of that. We have our water-blocked, RTX 4080, which is done in their EK water block, and then this is the direct die water block itself. So again, underneath this it has a custom plate, and then there's actually the actual direct die itself that goes onto that, and then so we've direct die water cooled that. Then we have another basically big radiator, 30 millimeter radiator. We have more Fantex D30s. Now the thing that's super interesting for how we did airflow on this is we have exhaust, and then we're gonna actually use intake. So these are reverse fans, and then we're using this as the primary intake for fans. Now this is gonna pull air from other places, but for the most part, this is the primary fan feeding the loop itself. So we are pulling in air directly from that. The main reason being is that you don't do intake or anything like that from anywhere else in the case, is that, again, because you want specifically because we're cooling a 14900KS, we definitely want to make sure that we're getting the high static pressure from these fans. So that's why we're specifically, so this is actually an intake fan, not an exhaust fan in this particular case. And then you'll see in the temps that we're going to be absolutely fine from there in terms of where it is. Loop-wise, what we basically have is the way that it's essentially is it's going to go up, out through the CPU, back into the distroplate, out to the GPU, down through the radiator, up into the second radiator, out, back, and then through essentially the actual CPU block itself. So that is the full loop that we basically have planned today. Now, a couple things we did have to do, because this was not something where we couldn't do some case modification, is you'll actually see here, on the back of the case. And actually here, let me go to roaming camera just to give you guys, let's hope this works. Sometimes this gets a little finicky. But let's go ahead and jump over to roaming camera here. Hopefully, yes, it looks like it's working. So just to give you guys a closer look here. So you can actually see here, we had to do some modifications to the case itself to actually make the distro. Hey, Igor, thank you for the gifted subs. We had to do some modifications to the case itself to be able to do our, to get this in. So we had to remove a spot here. We also had to remove this here. And then we had to remove another one. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so yeah, these two were the ones that we essentially had to remove from the bracket. Like I said, because this case is so new, we weren't able to basically just use, there wasn't a distro plate that already existed that allows us to basically plug this in there. So there was some dremeling to get this set up. And then cable management, we actually got it to the point where you can actually just close this and then it closes without any issue. So cable management itself is actually very, very clean. In terms of, because we have so much RGB, most of the RGB and stuff is basically down there at the beginning, and then everything is kind of plugged in. We are using Asia Horse extensions, and then we've got that easy DIY extension from here, and then this is our A1000G. So again, all of the cable management and everything is already set up and ready to go. So we'll flip this around, again, just to give you a closer look to the build itself. Again, just to run through the loop one more time. We're gonna start here, and then from here, so this is the beginning of our loop, it's gonna go in, and then out of our CPU, down in, then it'll then come out, go to our GPU, then out of our GPU, and then in, and then from there, it basically will go out and then to our radiator, which will go up, and then, you know, basically through the distro plate, up and then through our other radiator, and then it basically then continues its route through the CPU. So that's the actual plan for the actual routing itself. And then again, just to give you some closer looks here, we got some RGB obviously on our GPU block. We have some RGB on our CPU block. I think you guys can actually see a little bit just of how different. You can see a little bit of the direct dye there. You can actually see that underneath there. And then of course, then we actually have RGB on our distro plate as well. So that is the whole build, what we have in kind of an up close look of it, to give you an idea of what we're running. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy. And of course, we also have obviously the custom nature of the whole thing too. It is, I mean, the thing is, and it's funny, somebody would say this like, hey, it reminds me of a Jay's 2 cents build. That doesn't surprise me. Main reason being is that for the most part, most people, when they do Lian Li o11 or o11, depending on how you want to do it, o11 builds, they kind of follow the same pattern. Distro plates just end up with something nice and clean. I'll be honest, viewing things with classic reses and stuff in this actually end up being a real issue. I will tell you a little bit of a story when we were doing this with TechTuber and those guys, that they ended up having, they ended up switching cases because they tried to do a classic build inside of this, and it doesn't have a ton of room when you add a standard rad inside of it and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, so that's the build as it sits right now. Yeah, Edge is blocking it all for me as well. People are talking about stuff right now. So hopefully people are figuring it out. So that's the build. Why don't you guys, what do you guys think? You think we should start the process of actually, of getting this built and stuff like that? That sounds like fun, right? This sounds like the right thing to do. Let's start getting tubes in. What do you guys think? And any other questions you guys have? So Halloween, it's not that it's not possible. It's just that it takes more planning and it's harder to do. So the one thing that distro plates do is it just makes it a lot easier to do the runs. Now, one other thing I did want to let you guys know, if you are going to do a water-cooled build like what we did, I want to take you through the steps. First and foremost, we build the system outside of the case, make sure it's benched and make sure everything works. The second thing that we then do is we then put all the water blocks on, and then we then bench it again to make sure that the water blocks, and when we installed our blocks, that there is no problem. Now, one of the things that people freak out is that they're like, well, Robey, if you do that, that means that you're turning it on without any liquid running through it. Yes, absolutely. But it can get to Windows and it can basically run at Windows for, you know, a couple minutes and not have any problems. So you can make sure that your parts work, that everything is working, and therefore you know that you're actually in a really good state. Because a lot of times, like if people make blocks too tight or they do something and then all of a sudden you filled your whole loop and then you find out it didn't work, it ends up being a really, really difficult time and something where you're crying the entire time because you have to take your entire loop apart to kind of troubleshoot your issue. So you want to do as much of that prior to the build. In fact, we've even turned it on like this. You want to do as much of that prior to the build as you can to make sure that your components are in working order before you take all the time to run your tubes and everything like that. Hey, UPS drop. Oh, there we go. Figment just got her other Robeytech PC. I just realized I don't have my fan running, so let's get that going. Okay. So now that we got all of that going, let's get it going. Let's drop the top down here, and we're gonna start working on tubes. So let's do this. What I'm gonna do, I hope this is charged. I think it is. Okay, so we'll switch this to okay, so that should give you a pretty good view here. So first thing we're gonna work on, guys, is we're gonna start our CPU loop. So we've already got our fittings and everything in. The main reason for that is just to make sure that okay, so we're gonna start with our CPU loop. We don't wanna lose any washers or anything like that. Okay, cool. So we're just gonna basically put this on. Put this on, put this on. And we're gonna take the same thing from this other one here. Okay, there we go. Slide that on, slide this on. Okay. And then pop that in. Go. And then same thing with this one, just pop it down. And oops, let's do this again because I forgot that it's two. There we go. Now we're going to tighten this down. And you want to basically make sure these are super tight. So we're going to make sure this stuff is really tight. Okay, so there's our first tube in. Now, the one thing that we also did is if you look at this, the other thing that we also worked on is just in terms of, on top of making sure that everything obviously was even, is something that we did to make this build just a little bit easier, is we also took the time to make sure that we didn't actually have to bend any tubes. We actually used the EK pre-bent tubes. So because we used a distroplate, we knew we wouldn't have to do any bending. So it did make this build a little bit easier, getting to do everything using the pre-cut versus doing everything versus the thing. If you're having the same coolant run through the entire account, riskier than having separate coolant running. No, DJ Techno, no, there's no higher risk. A lot of times doing dual loops just means that the saturation takes longer. But the other thing too is you're reserving cooling, for instance, your radiators for specific components. So in this case, we have 720 cooling, a 4080 and a 14900 KS, which is totally fine, right? The reason for doing dual loops is just saying, hey, I want to reserve this cooling because I know I'm going to push my CPU or I'm going to push my GPU. But given how cool a 4080 is, it wasn't something I was overly concerned about. So yeah, hey, what's up, Zeist? It's good to see you. Just making sure I'm seeing any questions. Okay, cool. I am doing well. That was weird. Can you say hi again?
Hello.
Oh, weird, you're coming through the speakers. Let me fix that real quick. One sec, guys. Where's my voice and video? Yeah, it was coming through the BenQ instead of, there you go. Okay, Say hi now.
Howdy.
Okay, now I can hear you. Okay. So anyway, that is what we're doing here. So now we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and do our second one here. Doing our second, adding our second tube here. Just making sure that all this stuff is very tight, finger tight. We don't want any leaks. And again, because we knew we had to do this for a stream, guys, we've already tested this build fully. So you guys, we know it's gonna work. You're not gonna be disappointed at the end and be like, Robey, you said we were gonna get to see a custom water-cooled direct eye thing, and then it didn't happen. So now you don't have to worry about that, it's all here. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, here we go. And then we're gonna pop that one in here. A little bit of fitment work here. There we go. That's how you know it's got a good fit. Takes some work to get the tube in. There we go. There we go. 2 tubes in, guys. There we go. Nice. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's nice and tight. See? Okay, so 2 tubes in. What are you guys thinking? Looks pretty good so far, yeah? Those nice even tubes right there. Hey, anonymous gifter with 1 gifted sub. VTN, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Zeiston, thank you very much. Welcome. 47 months. Wow. Canadian Jacks also. Chris177A. Guys, we're getting up there in terms of unlocking the larger giveaway. So yeah, thank you very much for all your guys' help so far. I'm going to turn the brightness down a little bit. Ooh, this is almost... I'm going to actually turn this down a bit. I'm going to try and give it power. So that way we don't have to have it die on us. There we go. That way we want to basically be able to see the entire time, I think, right?
I mean, sight's overrated, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it's important. Okay, next up, guys, let's do GPU. So we've got our CPU loop in right now. Yeah, so Araxis, remember this, we've done everything. There's some pre-built options we've already kind of done because we want to make sure that we get a lot, we want to make sure you get some good time for testing too. So yeah.
Especially since it's not uncommon for a hard tubed build to take, 6 to 8 hours.
This one took way more than that, but that's because of the direct eye and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, this build took closer to 14, but there was a lot that went into this one. A lot more than our usual kind of fare for builds. Okay, here we go. just getting this put in here, guys. I wonder if I think I have this backwards, guys. Okay, make sure. This one should go here. So one other thing, even when we take it apart, okay, that definitely goes with that one. Okay, that definitely goes there. Okay. Yeah, 60 minutes to an hour to finish. That would be impressive to finish a whole build in that amount of time. Okay, here we go. Pop this one in first. It'll be a little easier to do it if we do it this way. Okay, there we go. There we go. Try not to block your guys' view either. Okay, let's get that one. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Okay, get this one in now. Nice and tight. Oh, that doesn't fit. It's sitting all the way in there. Not sitting all the way in there. There we go. There we go. This is where you're like, you feel it and you're like, that doesn't seem right. Okay, guys, GPU loop is in. A little bit. Trying to make sure it's parallel. So from the front, there we go. There's two loops now. We have our GPU loop and our CPU loop both in. Make sure it's tight. It's nice and even. Nice and even. Always takes like just being that little bit of anal, right? Especially for builds that you spend so much time in on this. Okay, what do you guys think? Oh man. We got Phil Mitch resubscribing. Thank you very much for that, guys. Good, I'm glad you guys are like, okay, so now we're gonna go and do, we got two more left. We got our bottom one. So guys, just so you guys know, I forgot to show you these. There's a couple tubes that we did not take out because they were, they're hard. So we were like, okay, there's a couple tubes that we did not take out just because of the give and stuff like that. So going to the roaming camera, this one right here, making sure, oh, stupid thing. I'll tell you, let's go, come on. Give me my, see if it comes back. It worked the first time. Why you gotta be such a pain, Mr. There you go, okay. So this one right here, So this one was already kept in, and then this one up here, we also kept in just to make sure that it's, because of the give and stuff like that, and you weren't really going to be able to see us putting those in very easily. So these are the loops going into the radiator and stuff like that. So we have those kind of already placed and ready to go. So I just want to make sure that you guys knew that, because you're like, I don't understand. It feels like there should be more tubes. Well, there was a couple more super tiny tubes that we put in to make sure beforehand. Okay. This might be a water-cooled build world record. Maybe it will be. We'll have to see how it goes, right? Yeah, we're not done yet. Okay, so let's grab our bottom tube here for this. Then this right here, guys, just so you know, this is our drain valve. The drain, this does a really good job of draining the distro plate. Oops, oh shoot. That's what I didn't want to do. Crud. When you drop the washer, okay. Well, it's definitely here. Okay. Okay, so this goes here. And I just got to find my washer, which sucks. Okay. Where'd my washer go? You popped out, you jerk.
Nice black washer drop down into the nice dark black abyss.
Yeah, exactly. We might need another washer. I dropped the washer. Hold on. Drop the washer. Yeah. Get another washer, guys.
Yeah, it's emphasizing the washers next to the dryer.
Unfortunately, the washer is not next to the dryer, guys. The washer is down somewhere. It's an extra bonus for whoever wins the system now.
You get a replacement.
You get a replacement. Good luck finding it, but it's there for you. Oops. These can be a bugger, I'll tell you. Washers can be, okay. And I'm doing a really good job here. There we go. Okay, here we go. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, guys. One more tube. And then we get to fill it. And then it's nice and parallel. It looks really good. Okay, last tube. Let's just not lose another washer. How about that? Seems like a good call, right?
Yeah, that's probably the preferred method.
Yeah, let's not lose any washers. Okay, I got that washer. Okay, good. Both washers did not disappear. Okay, boys and girls. What do you guys think so far? Well, yeah, that's what we want to do. I don't get to do a lot of these, so if we get a chance, right, it's always fun to get to do things like this because we don't get to do a lot of these in the build. And I promise we're trying to do one of these a quarter at the minimum. If not, if we can do more, that'd be awesome. Okay. Now just to get this last one threaded. Come on. It's always the fun. It's like, come on, every other one went so well. Of course, the last one has to be like painful to get to get on. This will be a little bit easier. I think we'll do it top way first, and then we'll do the other bottom. There we go. Sometimes it's just order of operations, guys. Okay. There we go. That one will go in way easier. Okay. Okay, guys. There we go. All loop is done. And there we go. The loop is finished. So now, looks like everything here is good. Just making sure that everything's even. Cool, cool. Okay, so now we're gonna do our fill. Looks like you have fill ports here, all sorts of places. I'm just gonna fill it from the back because it's probably the easiest. Oh, cool.
Black piece will take off the cap and
Oh.
Allen wrench will.
Okay, cool. Ugh. Okay, just got to get the top off, the cap off. You got to make them tight, eh?
I mean, how else can they guarantee they don't
Yeah,
leak?
they don't. How else do you guarantee they don't leak? Yeah. Well, guys, to be clear, we did a lot of movie magic to basically get this to make this all work. To make it work the way that it it does. So. Hey guys, one sec. Okay. We're back. Sorry. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're actually, there's a couple, I want you guys to be able to see this. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna fill from the front here. But I had to grab this. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here we go. Now we're gonna take this out right here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now let's get it going there. And then we want to get super close here. Oops, that looks like one of our things is. I want you guys to be able to see as much of the fill as absolutely possible. Okay, here we go. Okay, you guys can see that pretty well, right?
Right. Camera angle still on
Yeah,
your.
there you go. Okay, so what we did is we took off the cap here, and then we have it open right here. So this is where we're gonna fill it. And I had to get my water while we were I forgot to grab water. We're gonna fill, so what we have is we're using distilled water with a treatment, right? Because again, we actually have the ability to create our own distilled water. The other option that you also have is you could use EK cryofuel, and if you wanted to do coloration, but we liked actually the way the clear liquid did. And then it's just a lot better in terms of taking care of the loop, because distilled water plus treatment means opportunity in terms of having anything gunk up is actually really straightforward. Monster Energy drink may work for your body, not necessarily good for PC. Okay, so here we go, guys. We're gonna start filling here. This is a very thirsty loop, just so you know. It's gonna take a little while to get it filled. Okay, now I think we have all of the, I'm letting it suck some of the liquid down while it does. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a keyboard. Because I'm gonna do this one a little bit different than I normally do. Well, actually, I guess what I can do. Yeah, I'm gonna want it. Yeah, because we've already pre-cable managed all this. So we're going to be doing it not how I normally fill it, but we're going to set it in BIOS and then fill it as it goes. I'm letting it slowly kind of leak into the other stuff on its own. So we can fill up most of the bottom radiator just by letting it do its thing. Because it gets gulpy, guys. It gets gulpy.
I mean, slowly watching the air bubbles rise is, satisfying anyway.
Slow order.
Throwing cables in real quick, guys. Just making sure I get all the cables plugged in. So there we go. So when we do get to it, it's gonna be good. No, it's okay. It's okay. So no, I want to show people. So yeah. Okay, here we go, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically, there's a couple ways we can do this depending on how fast it's still basically sucking water into the pump anyway. Is we're going to, because we're not gonna do this standardly, like where we use a cap to basically just run the power, what we're gonna do is we're going to turn it on and then we're gonna have it sit in the BIOS and then we're gonna fill it as it sits in the BIOS. So it's a little bit of a 1-2 process here, but everything is good to do it. And I can see the screen. I'm just gonna make sure the power's on. And then we'll just make sure we don't have the loop go off. It's still, look at, it's literally just still like the radiator's just like taking all of the, it's pretty funny, sorry. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna turn this on, put this right here. Still pushing things through. Okay, we're in the BIOS now. This is a thirsty loop, so you're gonna see it. It's gonna take a while, guys. And then it'll go really quick. So you guys are watching the loop fill slowly. Luckily right now our CPU, our GPU temp, our core temp is sitting at 50. We're just waiting for the loop to kind of fill up. Slowly getting warmer. Okay, it's starting to get, I'm starting to see pressure show up on the. It's just got to get to this like point right here. I can see it like right here, and then once it kind of gets to the point of that, see it's like slowly filling up there. Come on, grab it. Come on, baby. Grab the liquid. Definitely the pump is going. No, it's not pumping. It's not pushing through right now. It's getting lower though. Okay, so water's going. It's still okay. Water is starting to go through. I'm gonna shut this off. I'm gonna fill it up more. There it goes. There it goes. It's starting to fill up there. Sometimes you just gotta, there he goes, it's trying to get everything in there. It's starting to get liquid through. Sometimes it's just, you gotta prime the pump a couple times. Oh, loops are so much fun. Turn it off one more time. Okay, turn it on one more time. So now you can see, start to see liquid going everywhere. Definitely have, the only place we do not have liquid right now is in the CPU loop. We have a little bit, actually, we have some. Oh, shoot. Oh, hold on. Shut it off. Oh, forgot to, okay, there we go. One more time. It's putting more, it's slowly pushing liquid through. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, CPU temperature is dropping slowly. Sorry guys, just gotta get it, gotta kind of push it through. And eventually it just kind of takes, so it takes some time. Okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna fill it in a different spot just to give it some liquid here. So this is just little fun things. I'm gonna fill the second one of these other loops a little bit, just to give it a little bit of additional water, just to kind of help it. Put this, close this real quick. The other two that also helps sometimes, guys, and I like that this is not going as straightforward as it normally does, is it just shows you some of the fun that is custard liquid cooling. I'm just gonna seal that real quick. And this is the fun thing about distro plates, is we're gonna fill some of the other parts to basically help it just have more liquid in those spots. So hopefully it will help it just kind of help the pump out a little bit. Oops. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got some water moving through there now. A little bit of liquid there, hold on. I'm just trying to help it get, there's actually liquid in there now, so pull the liquid through. Okay. Okay, so we pulled that through. Let's just see. There we go. Oh, oh, shut off, shut off, shut off, shut off, shut off, shut off, shut off. Okay, there we go. Okay, liquid's pulling through now. Okay, see, sometimes you just gotta work with it to figure it out. Okay, so let's put the EK back on. Luckily we didn't run the pump dry. I wanna make sure that's straight. Sorry, I'm anal. There we go. Okay. Now that we have a loop that's happy. Now we can do the rest of this fill. But you guys saw that, right? That was pretty cool. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now, no, I turned off, that's right, I turned off the power altogether. Okay, next bottle. And this should be, now after this, we should be able to fill it up as it goes. The most important thing is not to run the pump dry. So we're making sure we don't do. Take a little longer to post than I'd hoped, but it's in now. Okay, get this in. Now it's filling that radiator again. Okay. Okay, guys, there we go.
Making some headway.
There it is. It's filled. There's that CPU temperature we like. Yeah, it's getting all the bubbles out. Like that for a little bit. Let's make sure. Let's see. Do we see? Nope, we don't. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to restart this real quick. I'm going to try and get into the BIOS so you guys can see what the temperature is like, because you guys are going to see right away. Okay, here we go. So here's the temperature inside of the BIOS right now. Look at that. Look at that temp right there. So you should change it once a week, once a year. Look at that.
Hey,
look at that.
Justin.
Yeah.
Check the tube there coming from the CPU block. It looked like the one going into the distroplate was leaking.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We got a little bit of a leak there. Okay, cool. So let's shut this down. Not tight enough on this one yet. Okay, we got a little leak there. We had some on this too. Okay, now we're gonna look for, let's do a little bit of leak testing and let it run and figure out which ones are, I tightened them, so we'll see. Oops, let's go back to side cam. So all I do, yeah, so yeah, I like how somebody's like, switch cameras so we can learn. Yes. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna look for leaks now. Luckily, the good thing about this particular build is that all of the critical components are kind of sheltered. So that way we can pull. Okay, so now that we have everything here, let's go and run it again. Okay, so we're in the BIOS. Looking for any leaks. Okay, so we have some leak here, okay. So we have a leak here. Question is, where specifically?
Yeah, it looks like that second one from the top on the CPU side is leaking too.
Second one from the top? I don't have any leak there. I don't see any water liquid there. This one up here? Right there?
On the distro side.
Oh, and the second one from the top here?
Yep.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay, so that one is leaking. Okay, so we're gonna shut that down. This one. Yeah, I saw water, but I didn't know where it was coming from, so thank you. So just make sure those are all tight. Okay. Okay, so let's try it again. CPU one doesn't seem to be leaking anymore. It is silent. Let that sit for a little bit. I was too cocky, guys. I thought it would all work on the first time, but I had a little bit of leaks. Nothing now. I don't see anything now. You guys seeing anything?
Not seeing anything obvious.
I'm gonna let some air continue to run through here. Watching air bubbles show up, which is fun. So far, it looks pretty good, right? I see a computer.
It looks great to me.
Just letting the air kind of cheering through it for a little bit. Just so you guys know, so again, we're going to jump into here to the capture real quick. You look at that ambient right now. This is idle. Look at that idle temp on our CPU right now. Sitting at 29 degrees right now on our 14900 KS. That tells you something. So we're just gonna let this sit for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll have it boot the rest of the way into BIOS. I don't see any. Now what I don't see is I don't see any. I'm gonna try and get some more bubbles out of it. Shaking it helps. It also tests with leaking, so if we have any other leaks. This thing, one thing I will say about this pump is this pump, just because of how fast it is, it does a really good job of getting the bubbles out of it. So I mean, it didn't take much to get the bubbles kind of out. Yes, we are running Intel recommended settings on this one, but we will show you all of them, so that way you guys can, we'll do maximum and stuff like that. But really, honestly, I will say my favorite thing about this is that because we have a 14900 KS on direct die, we have a lot of room to kind of mess with how we want, right? In terms of we have a lot of tweakability given what we have from a cooling standpoint. And here's kind of a wider angle of the build right now as it just kind of sits here. We're just gonna make sure that nothing happens. We're gonna give it a little bit of time just to make sure that we don't have any leaks or anything like that. Like I said, this build, we've already put together all that sort of stuff, so yeah. There will be a contest. We will be giving this away here, and you guys we'll be giving this via a Gleam giveaway. El Solo Doctor, thank you very much for the sub. So there we go, guys. Okay, I think we can go ahead and seal it up. Okay, we're just gonna seal this up and put the cap on it for now. Want to make sure no water gets out. And we have already, now because we did the testing, we were actually able to flush the system before, which is cool too. So this build has been flushed. There we go. Okay, system is sealed. Don't see any other leaks, which is great. So why don't we take it to the next level, guys? What do you guys say? Let's. Shall we go into Should we go into OS? I'll show you the BIOS real quick, though. The settings that we have, and then we'll show you the different ones we'll play around with today. Okay, so now it's time to let this this build go to its full shine mode. You ready? Yeah, we got big boy rads and everything on this one. Like, we went all out for cooling for this build, since we'd already done the other ones. Okay, so let me show you guys what we have in terms of our settings in the BIOS right now. So we're gonna run it on a number of different settings. So kicking things off, we already have XMP enabled, which you guys can see already. When you check at our advanced here, so we're gonna go up to advanced settings, and right now we're gonna go to overclock menu. You can see right now we have it basically set to the box cooler. If you check the box cooler, this is essentially, it's saying it's maxing it out at 253 watts. So we're keeping it at 253 watts. This is the way that we set our Intel core settings for a PC like this. So again, that's basically, we set it to Intel. Now I'm gonna show you what it's like at that, and then we'll go up to the other settings so you guys can see that too. But again, most of the cases, if you want to see what your CPU runs like at stock settings, basically with Intel enforcements, that's essentially how you do it. So we're gonna hit F10, yes, and then jump out. Oh, I'm sorry, Max Bunny, you're right. It is BIOS. Yeah, it's MCE on Asus. It's also MCE on Gigabyte. And then on ASRock, I think they have a different name. But yeah. Okay, so here we are jumping in. Now you guys are gonna see let's have the build turn to its true colors here. And by the way, like sound-wise, it's like this is the other thing that people really like about air cooling. I mean, sorry, liquid cooling is here's our, this is me chatting, and then this is the build right next to it. So it's 46 decibels. There's no volume whatsoever. Oh, I found the washer that I lost.
Does that mean someone doesn't get a spare now?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's a custom o11 case, so you guys, I mean, like, again, you also get the beautiful Ron, the Ron from Blue Horse Studios treatment here. So again, we have that beautiful dragon design that'll be all the way around it, right on top of having the custom water cooling as well. This is the RGB, the Evo RGB. So it's not an XL. Yeah, everything is parallel. It's weird because of how the thing is, it doesn't look like it is parallel, but all of the cable, all of the tubing and everything is parallel, which is awesome. Okay, so the last thing we want to do, just to give you the final look of the build. And there we go. That is how the final build looks, all lit up and everything. So there it is. What do you guys think? So with everything put together, yeah, let's see. I'll show you what's the. People are like, what? How quiet is it now? So it was at 47. So here's with the case. It's like you can't even tell there's a PC running. So yeah, it's quiet. Okay, but now comes the fun part, guys, which is what we really want to know, which is like, hey, okay, Robey, how does this bad boy actually perform, right? What are we capable of? So let's pop in here. Hold on one sec. You guys I'm letting you guys just enjoy the view there for a moment. There we go. Okay, so now let's jump in here. So let's get all the fun stuff that we want. So we'll grab CPU ID, hardware info monitor. I know, right? It looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, it is an incredible looking build. And it came out so clean. Okay, so let's go ahead and install hardware monitor. There we go. Let's grab Cinebench. There we go. Okay, so this is with stock Intel settings, right? Just to kick things off. So stock Intel, and then we'll pop in and make it even crazier. But let's just do stock Intel settings, and then we'll let the motherboard kind of do its own thing. So right now we're sitting at a whopping 30 degrees on our CPU. And then remember, this is a 14900 KS. So we're gonna hit multi-core here and do a 10-minute test. Yeah, you're reading that right, guys. That temperature is 62 on a 14900 KS. That's what direct die cooling does, right? So again, we're at 37,000. We're not done. We'll play with some other ones too. But again, you want to talk about overclocking headroom? That is overclocking headroom right there, right? You're looking at 62 under load right now, pulling a 37,000 on Cinebench. So understanding, saying how much of it the water, how much is the delit. So when we did it, remember guys, we have a 14900 KS that we water cooled with a team over at TechTuber, and it was at 83. So you have 20 degrees difference between custom water cooling and basically delitting. That's how much. It was a 20-degree difference on basically the direct die cooling. So that's what you're basically getting here. I forgot to, I realized I left some water. I'm just gonna make sure, because I still wanna, I wanna just make sure as we run under load. So again, guys, we're up to 65, 64. What are we gonna do?
The only answer is let the motherboard run rampant.
Okay, so we're gonna let the motherboard run rampant now, this shows you why you don't let motherboards run rampant, but we're gonna do it anyway. So let's let it just do stock settings. So we're gonna let's go and jump away. Yeah, and 37K, remember, so face game FPS is like saying, well, yeah, again, remember, we are nerfing, this is the nerf, right, like that you're doing, that motherboard manufacturers, like when you're running it at stock, right, we're not letting it get above a certain wattage, all that sort of stuff, so remember, we are definitely making some sacrifices here, but now what we're gonna go overclock. We're gonna change it right now to, and then what we're gonna do is we're basically water cooled means we're gonna let it go rampant. Now, I will say I don't necessarily like this, but for the most part, it's still the best way to basically say it's unlocked. What I would do after this, if I was gonna spend more time with this build, etc., is then what I would do is then I would spend some time undervolting, because again, the amount of wattage it's gonna throw through this is not necessarily, yeah.
I think the word you're looking for is obscene.
Yeah, it's obscene. Now, will this hit thermal? Yep, this will still hit thermal edge, but you guys are gonna see a pretty big improvement in the overall Cinebench score too. Okay, so here we go, we're jumping in.
Oh, that's not quite true there, Dead Horse. It can be tamed under normal purposes, just not to this extent.
Yes, we have run we've AIO cooled, we've custom water cooled, and we've done all of them. And every single one of them, if you're running at Intel stock settings, this is the thing that's important. When you're running at Intel stock settings, yes, motherboard manufacturers, and this is the whole thing that we're dealing with right now with Intel, is like there's definitely a relationship that needs to happen in terms of helping motherboard manufacturers not do so much that you end up making these things almost uncoolable, which is what you're going to see here, because even in this case, we're going to see some pretty rampant temperatures, and this thing is about as cooled as you can make it, right? So here we go, run 10 minutes, and then go ahead and run multi-core. And there, see, it already hit, but look at what the wattage is here. It's pulling 400, 500 watts, right? Like, so it's hitting that temp right away with the amount of wattage we're putting through this. Now, the thermal throttle, so it's not actually thermal throttling, guys. It is boost throttling, and you'll see that here in a second, because look at the clocks, and then look at our Cinebench score, 42,340. So, yeah. So there it is, 42,000 on our 14900 KS though. And then again, if it doesn't go down, then what we're doing is we're looking at boost throttling, not thermal throttling. So again, as you watch it, this is important to know. So again, this is where tweaking, because again, I could do 42,000 and still have this in the 70s, but you would just have to do some undervolting to make it happen. So we'll do some other benchmarks and stuff like that too. It's funny because Face Game FPS says it's your DD block, but so we've done this with a normal block too, and we get the same exact thing. It's running at 82. So, and the only thing too is I've done it with any other block, and even under Intel stock settings, it running in the 60s that's ridiculous. So 171 to 250, guys. With the Iceman are super cool. We'll take a look at it. But again, look at the Cinebench score, guys. It's running over and over and over again, and it's staying at 42,000, which means it is boost throttling, it's not thermal throttling. It's basically keeping that same performance the entire time. And look, we're still hitting 6.2 on a couple of cores there the entire time. So it has not dropped in its score since it started. Oh, okay, no, actually, there it goes. Now for the first time it did. So, all right, so what we're gonna do now, though, is we're going to return it to stock settings, which is what you should do. And then you should do it yourself. If you really care that much about overclocking, you should overclock yourself. Don't let your motherboard do it. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna run it back at stock. And if you wanted to, so if you were gonna, now that we have some rooms, what you could do if you really wanted to, and then you could play with it, is I'd actually recommend for this one, is setting it to tower air cooler, which goes up to 208, which will allow it to do 300 watts, and then that way you won't have any issues playing with XTU. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that, and then now let's just take a look at some of the gaming performance. And then I'll show you temps with this too, right? This is where we can actually tweak things, undervolt, all that sort of stuff. You're not gonna see a big change in the Cinebench score, but you will see a change in the amount of wattage we've allowed. Hey, Araxis Spot VIP, congratulations. El Solo Doctor, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's pop this up. So this one you'll see a bigger jump. And this is where wattage is important, right? It's about the amount of wattage. You don't need that kind of wattage being pumped through your CPU to improve performance. So we're gonna jump this up here. It's just that one setting, yeah. So here we go, now we're sitting at, you'll see it here, our temps are back down at 34. Let's go to 10, and then we'll run a multi-core. And now, see, now we're at 32, 30, this is like, so now we have the wattage we want, and then it's sitting at in the 80s. So now this is where we could take XTU and then we could do some tweaking. And I could probably get this down and keep this normal, but again, we're still sitting at 40,000. So again, much more reasonable, reasonable temps and reasonable Cinebench score there. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop open. Let's go grab MSI Afterburner real quick, because this is going to be the fun part. And by the way, when you're gaming, you won't hear anything at all. I'll have to take a look at that face game, because luckily it's on Twitter, so I'll definitely take a look at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our April 2023 one. Come on, guys, we have 22 more likes. Head on over to youtube.com/Robeytech Live. Hit that thumbs up button.
72.
72, yes. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's get this open. So that's Araxis, that's kind of the point, and that's one of the things is like when we think about like who is the 14900 KS for? The 14900 KS is for that extreme PC enthusiast who wants ultimate tinker, who, you know, is this for like your average consumer? No, it's for the person who wants to be able to eke the most out of it, who has the time to go and basically play with it and wants to potentially water cool it or direct die cool it or AIO cool it with a high-end AIO cooler like a Ryujin 3 or something, you know, who's gonna spend the money on that stuff and then play with it to kind of ink the most out of it, right? It's a tinker. It's also for obviously big number crunchers and stuff like that who aren't gonna run that kind of wattage but just need the base clock speed, wow, said the wrong word. Base clock speed, you know, that's the, you know, there's obviously some workstation applications that for sure could use this, but as gamers and enthusiasts, that's who it's for, right? Yeah. So it's definitely, and that's why it's a limited edition run CPU. For sure. So VIP gets you access to, you get a special pool of Robeytech only swag giveaways. You also get, and then you get a chat indicator and some other things. So it gives you extra access to giveaways, yeah. Okay, so we're just installing all of our tracking stuff right now. Scully's like, I'm gonna use it for Minesweeper, which, I mean, hey, if that's what makes you happy, dude, like, do it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna judge you. I want you to be happy, you know? Okay. So there we go. Let's go and run it up. And then let's see how our gaming temperatures and all that stuff are, which is also going to be a lot of fun, right? Benchmark, oops, sorry, monitoring. Okay, so let's make sure we have the right one. Okay, so our GPU temperature showing on show override group name. FE. There we go. GP1 usage, show. There we go. We don't care about vid usage. Memory usage I'm fine with because I want to show that. Let's do core clock. And it's back to like its silent mode. GPU power. Okay, so there's all of our stuff. Fan speed, wattage. Okay, so let's go to our CPU temperature. This is a Core i9 14900KS. Apply. CPU usage. There we go. Oh, nope, not CPU 32. Went the overall CPU usage. There we go. CPU clock. There we go. And then we got CPU power. And then let's do frame rate. Let's do game. And then we'll do frame time. We'll do text graph. Game. There we go, guys. Okay, so everything's set. Not game, games. Okay, so let's look at, obviously an Intel optimized title, right? Given that the Intel and Newegg are sponsoring this. So let's open up our Ubisoft here. I love these idle temperatures, right? That's nice. I mean, not that we're running any games or anything like that, but let's, here we go. Oops, so this is not what we want. We want, where's my games? Okay.
Your games are all hiding from you, saying
There
you
they
don't
are.
play enough.
I'm like, where's my game? It's like, there it is. It was like definitely being hard. So we're gonna load up some Assassin's Creed Mirage, probably one of the most demanding Intel specific titles for sure. Delete System 32. Wow, Ollie's just like, you know what? If I win this, I'm gonna sell it and then buy a ThinkPad from 16p Gen 4. That's like, wow. The one thing I will say is, I don't know what the market is for people buying custom water-cooled systems, because like I said, when you do a custom water-cooled build, there is definitely some maintenance you're signing up for when you do something like this, for sure. Sell it and buy a puppy. Okay, here we go. Oh, you clicked yes on your screen? That's funny, how we got. That's funny. Okay, here we go. Running our game. Look at that FE temp. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, you have to remember, we have both of these things sitting on this loop, right? Now there is 720 millimeters of radiator, right? And incredibly powerful fans that are basically cooling this thing. But again, it just gives you an idea of just like, when you look at the temps, that's the part that's super fun. Okay, first load's always a little slow. How we doing likes on YouTube, guys? Okay, here we go.
It's like we're sitting at 207.
Let's finish it out. We'll do that giveaway right in. Yeah, especially if you're good. That's a good point, TARDIS. Okay, let's do this. Go to okay, we need to get our graphics and stuff set up here. Well, I'm glad you're happy, Araxnus. I always want, like, when people win these, I just want people who, like, are going to appreciate the system to be the people who actually win, you know what I mean? Like, look at this build from a wide angle. I mean, that is a incredibly beautiful looking build, you know what I mean? Like, that's very pretty. I have to say, it came out, did it not? It just came out very, very good looking. And so, yeah, I think it with the water cooling and everything, it came out so good. So, and I do have to say, I love the Robeytech logo because with it just popping the way it did, it came out so good. Okay, so let's go in here, go to options first and foremost. Let's go to our graphics. I'll try everything here is good. Do we have motion blur off? Because you guys hate that. We're gonna turn adaptive quality off.
Hate it is a bit of an understatement.
We're gonna leave it at native, but we have DLAA on, so we're gonna turn up our sharpening strength to 75. So we're actually, let's turn it up to 80. Let's just be really nice to it. Okay, so we're running it native with essentially DLAA on. Let's go to screen. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna restart the game. Motion blur. Everybody's like, some people are like, I like how there's like one guy, Robey's like, I support motion blur. And then everybody else is like, ah.
Absolutely the worst.
Tell us what you really think, Zeiston.
I can't. This is a family-friendly show.
All right, let's jump in, and now the only thing we got to do is fix our resolution right now. So again, this is just to give you guys ideas of GPU and CPU thermals when playing a taxing game like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Okay, so let's go here and let's change our screen to not that. Oh, is it gonna do that thing? Okay, good. There we go. Go to full screen, refresh rate, do 60 Hertz, whatever. VSync's off. Okay, here we go. I thought it was gonna be stuck at 1920 by 1080. Okay, here we go. Now we're actually pushing the GPU now. Okay, so we should see, oh, it's getting up to 40. I like the 300 frames per second. I wish it stayed that way. Dude, 300 is crazy. Even in the loading thing, 300 is crazy. Okay, so now here we are, 175 frames per second. This is with sharpness. So again, we're hitting 42 on the CPU. I mean, 42 on the GPU, which is crazy given we're pulling almost 200 watts through the GPU right now. And it's sitting at a nice and frosty 42. And then we're sitting at 61 on our CPU. And then we, look at how sharp. I mean, look at how sharp. We're doing 80%. I mean, look at how sharp those textures are. I mean, this will run games like this. I mean, this is at native, so we're not even running DLSS or anything like that. We're just running it at native right now. We're pulling, and then we're using 25% of that 14900 KS. And 98% of the 4080. Yeah, you're like, those are idle temps on here on the 3090, right? And this is the under load temps on the 4080. 42. I mean, you are literally running yes, the 4090 would definitely be hotter, but I mean, if you want to talk about the ability to tweak, especially if you wanted to get frames out at 1080p or even at 1440p using your CPU, you definitely have the room to do that. I don't know, man, that looks really good and is performing really, really well. Okay, so let's run one more game just to see. What do you think? You think we should throw it away, Zeiston?
There's a dumpster right outside my back door.
All right, so let's pop one more game in, just to kind of finish it out. So let's open up another Intel title, little Dragon's Dogma. Raxus, I wish. Actually, I might be able to do Hogwarts. Unfortunately, when you do, so I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. When you do sponsored streams, because these streams are sponsored from manufacturers like Intel or Nvidia or whatever it was, in order to use the games, you actually have to tell the game dev. And then the game dev has to give you permission, because technically you're being, Intel is paying for the advertising. So because of that, then if the company didn't give permission, we can't show the game. So when we may do another stream with this where we tinker around with it more, and in that case I could do way more testing. But Dragon's Dogma, the team at Dragon's Dogma, or Capcom, and the team over at Ubisoft did give us permission to show these on the stream today. That's just one of the joys of, guys, of sometimes getting, that's just one of the joys sometimes of doing sponsored streams. But yeah, we're still gonna show what we can, right? And go from there. But I definitely want to play, I definitely want to do some 3D Mark on this and some other things. So we might do like a late night, just pop it up, play some games, and see how this essentially, really kind of put it through its paces. Yeah, Punish Pyre. Lawyers, you were in everything. Really kind of put it through its paces. I'd love to do an overclocking stream on this one. So really spending some time tweaking it, overclocking it, and getting it dialed in, I think people would really enjoy, and then we could basically have some fun with 3D Mark and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like that's like just a stream that's going to come up after Computex. All right, so let's just get this one going, because I wanted to show something that was like this. Maybe you don't play something that's absolutely ridiculous. So let's 2560 by 1540. Let's show you like it's still a graphically good game, but it's not like Assassin's Creed or anything. So we're gonna do variable for refresh rate, vertical sync off, dynamic resolution off. We're gonna put on DLSS super resolution. I wonder if we can do, okay, so we're gonna leave, actually we'll just leave it off. Do we have, leave it on progressive. Image quality, we're gonna go up. Look at how much processing load. Ray tracing we're putting on. We're gonna, do we have, no, unfortunately we don't have DLAA. Screen space on, mesh quality high. We're gonna put it on everything. Okay, so we have everything on max. Motion quality high, okay. Okay, there we go. Yes, okay, so
Motion blur.
Was it
Go
on
away.
there?
Yeah, it's on there. It's right above bloom.
Oh, okay. I was looking for it. Oh, there it is, off. There we go. Okay, motion blur is off now. So here we go, let's check this one out. Again, looking at the same thing, we're still pulling, look at this, 200, actually look at what the game is pulling. It's pulling 238 watts from the GPU, still at 99%. So I mean, like, okay, maybe I underestimated the performance need on this game, but we like cranked it as much as we could. By the way, this game is actually really cool. But still 50, 49, 50. I mean, dude, this, like, look at the textures. I mean, I don't know if this is actually, okay, yeah, this is still sorry. I want to make sure we actually get to the, okay, so, okay, there you go. Look at that. Okay, so we're at 60. Dude. Okay, so this game is actually no joke. What we have is we've, like, cranked it. So this is just raw. I'm gonna be a dude. Feel like I'm just gonna be normal. Looks good. Looks good. I basically am, what's his name? Okay, I don't want to edit. I want to just be done. Okay, finalize. There it is. Finalize. Yes. Oh, I got a set. He's gonna be. Let's be a mate. Let's be an archer. Voice. Valiant Hero 1. Actually, I'll just be a fighter. There we go. Detailed customization. Okay, we're good. Finalize. There we go. My name is Robey. I was like gonna do something funny, but let's just keep it simple. Monkier Robey Dante. There we go. Age. Not that old. Let's be aged. Confirm. Okay. Yes, there we go. We're gonna finalize this, and so here we can see a little bit more of this one. I do got abs. Oh, Tom. Yeah, I could be. Yeah, that's a good one. I could be the Spider-Man guy, like an older Tom Holland. But I was thinking of Christian Slater. It's like really. So we're at 60 frames per second. This game is not like I am pushing. It's pulling 254 watts. But I mean, dude, look at how absolutely clean this looks. Wow, this looks actually really good. But still, man, 48 on our GPU and 59 on our CPU. And that's a KS. Pulling 100, yeah, still very chilly temps. Hey guys, let's head over to youtube.com/Robeytech Live. We're gonna do that, the Newegg giveaway here real quick, and we have more than enough people. Oh, I'm sorry that Alex isn't here to cosplay. Let's hit those guys. We gotta hit 250 at least. Come on. So now we have a more open area, still in the 70s. So again, we're pulling north to 60, which is gonna be great. So you can really actually enjoy this at maxed. Man, this actually looks really good. Have you played much of this, Zeiston?
I haven't played a single minute of it.
Yeah, this game is actually, I really enjoyed playing what I have played of this game.
So that's what, about 37 minutes?
No, it was like an hour. And I was like, I want to play it more, and it's actually on a lot of my portable games. It's on my travel laptop, so I actually have a Nintendo playing this again.
Well, you do have a very long flight coming up before long.
Yeah. But I'm actually been playing the Phoenix Wright series, which is actually pretty funny. Okay, so this is just giving you an idea. Oh. Now this is actually, I mean, again, it looks good. Its temps are good. Let's pick up this. Look at how good by the way, I'm really strong. Okay, apparently I can't grab that one.
Nah, he's flying a little farther than that, Shaz.
Let's hit those likes, guys, so we can finish it out. Oh, something's going on. So it's staying north of 60 the entire time. I'm like really surprised that this game, I thought this game would be like in the hundreds even when we maxed it all out, but dude, we're definitely pushing the system. Yeah, I fly to Mexico tomorrow, and then from Mexico we fly to Taipei. Apparently you're right, Araxis. I had no idea. I would do likes on YouTube, guys. Let's finish it out so we can do this giveaway. Oh, that dude's dead. Oh, good. I got a sword. I have a very... So the graphics are maxed out now. So they're not, like, to be clear, they are maxed out. It's just, the thing is it's probably over sharpened. And then again, with DLSS and all that sort of stuff, you absolutely could. Ooh, look at my, I'm gonna impale him. Ooh, whoa, ow. I love that move. Take that, Medusa. Whoa, defend. Oh, she's getting lit by fire. I guess I can hit her with a rock if I wanted to. Oh, man. I did it. She's very bloody. Yeah, just show her in the mirror, exactly. She's Medusa. Need 11 more likes, guys. There's more than enough people. I can't linger here, guys. But you have to let it linger. You know I'm such a fool for you. I'm wrapped around your finger. Okay. Oh, here he goes. Oh, wow, he's been possessed. This game looks really good on this. 7 to go. We're running. Me and Edward Norton are running. I'm fleeing for my life, guys. Jump! Wow, I'm brave.
Yeah, I think I definitely would have put the brakes on.
Yeah, you would. You don't think you would have just done the, like, just trusted it?
Nope.
4 more, guys. Even if you landed on that thing and it took you away?
Nope. Putting the brakes on. Because then I just go from one thing snack to something else's.
No, you're on the back, dude. You get to ride it. So there it is, guys, Dragon Dogma 2, and then we'll just give you a good idea of the running and how it runs and all that sort of stuff. And there's the introduction. Let's get this giveaway, guys. We need one more. One more. Let's get this done. And by the way, Salon Quality here, thank you very much for the sub. By the way, we're going to be giving away a 14900K here in just a minute. If you want to get extra entries towards winning that CPU, plus we're giving away 2 PCs win at Computex, not next week, but the week after. Remember, if you have a Robeytech Twitch sub, you get extra entries towards winning that PC. So if you want to, and it'll give you extra entries towards winning the 14900K we're about to give away in just a few minutes. So make sure that you are a Robeytech sub, and if you have an Amazon Prime sub, just drop it. That'll also help as well. And then you have extra entries not only towards this, but also extra entries towards winning those PCs we'll be giving away when we're at Computex. So that just as an FYI, plus subs, you'll get extra entries in the Gleam entry for winning this as well. So you actually get extra entries towards that as well. So if you are a Twitch sub, you get extra entries towards winning this PC, plus all of the other things as well. So make sure that you're subbed, guys, and go from there. Now, you do not need to be a sub to win anything we give away. You don't need to be a, you just need to be a, a viewer. You just got to be hanging out here. It's just if you're subbed, you get the extras, which is awesome. Charlie Bay, I don't think it really matters. Either one is fine, but if you, I would just say the Gleam will be up next time. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and drop in, and we're gonna go ahead and start the. We'll do the Newegg giveaway right now. So Cloudbot. Okay, so here we go. First giveaway! Exclamation point Newegg now! Exclamation point Newegg now! This is for a $25 Newegg gift card. And that is running right now. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Yeah. And then
looks like we got a hype train starting too.
Oh, and we got a hype train. So if we get, guys, if we get to level 5 on the hype train, that'll unlock another $25 Newegg gift card. So maybe we can make it all happen right now. We're at level 2. Let's get to level 5. That'll unlock another giveaway as well. And so yeah, let's get it all done, guys. Drop those. Just takes a couple subs. We can make it happen. And thank you again for all of you guys who drop subs, all that sort of stuff. It's a huge help, so I appreciate it. Three minutes, guys. Can we get another? Can we unlock another giveaway? Man, I keep going back to this, but it looks so clean. Like I wasn't expecting it to look as clean as it does. I mean, look, it's running 6970, so like the entire time. Now remember, guys, if you had you only need a 4080 to do this. Like, as much as the CPU is helping, it's still going to run like this with the 4080 Super more than necessarily the 14900 KS. The KS does help. At 1080p, it would make a bigger difference, but this is a 40. So if you're running a 4080, 4080 Super, 4090, you would be able to do this without a problem. So. Ow. Ooh, took care of that. Wow, that dude got ripped up. Oh. Watch this. Oh, I couldn't pick it up. Take that. Got an apple off of that dude. And some that guy's a rich goblin. Got some withered branches now. Can we get some more, like, trying to get that hype train, guys? We're still at level 2. Somebody else help us out? And then we'll do the... Ooh. Oh.
Game-changing plays. He's playing Dragon Dogma.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma is what we're checking out. Need health. I went up. We got 1 minute left, guys. Anybody can get us to the next tier, then we'll love to see if we can at least unlock a hype train if possible, but it is what it is. Then we'll just get to the town. And then that's like, this is kind of when good place to kind of call it. 30 seconds, anybody? Okay, guys, we're going to start the giveaway in just a few minutes, like in 20 seconds here. Couple things. You do need to be a member of our Discord server. Congratulations to Our D, by the way, for winning the 14900 KS. For winning the 14900 KS. Congratulations. And thank you very much for those folks who started our hype train. I really appreciate it. Hyoko Mashaya, thank you very much for the sub as well. And then I'm gonna get out of this. Okay. Okay, guys, time for the 14900 KS. Make sure that you are a member of the Discord, discord.gg/Robeytech. Also, make sure that you are following me on Twitch. So you need to make sure you're a follower on Twitch. Last thing you need to be, make sure you are subscribed on YouTube. So those are the things you need to do. We are getting ready to do the 14900K. Sorry, 14900K. The last one was for the $25 gift card. This is for the 14900K. The winner of that was Orde, O-U-R-D-E-E. He was the winner of the $25 Newegg gift card. He was the winner of the Orde. Okay, guys, now it's time to do the U.S. Now, here's how, the 14900K. Here's how this works. If you remember U.S., Canada, Mexico, you're good to go. If you're anywhere else, you're fine to enter. If you win, you have to pay for customs and you have to pay for shipping. Outside of that, so we'll ship it to anybody else, okay? Again, following on Twitter, subscribed on YouTube, member of discord.gg/Robeytech. Those three things have to be done to be eligible to win the 14900K. Starting that giveaway right now, exclamation point Intel. You got 4 minutes, guys. Four minutes. Okay, so what is happening over the next week? Well, unfortunately, guys, not much. We might do some game streams. I'm actually heading off to Taipei. Oops, let me find out where I need to. Okay. I'm actually heading off to Taipei starting on Tuesday, so I'll be in Taipei. We're gonna try and do some game streams from the hotel room in Taipei. Once I get to the hotel and I can make sure that I can stream and stuff like that, I will, and I'll try and get a schedule out sometime midweek. But the week after, we are actually going to be doing a number of streams, and every single one of them from Computex. They'll be in the morning here, and they'll also be in the evening in the US as well. We're going to be doing one on Wednesday with Be Quiet. We're going to be doing one on Thursday with NVIDIA. We're going to be doing one on, Wednesday is going to be Be Quiet and NVIDIA. Sorry, Be Quiet and Intel. That's Wednesday. We're going to be doing one with NZXT on Tuesday night. Sorry, Wednesday morning. My gosh. Wednesday morning, we're going to be doing one with Be Quiet and Intel. Then again, Wednesday night with NZXT. Thursday, we're going to be doing something with NVIDIA. And then we also have one with Asus, but that one has not been streamed yet. We will get the schedule out as soon as we can. We'll be giving away PCs with Be Quiet and NZXT. And then we'll also have a really, really awesome giveaway in partnership with Asus as well. So that is going to be happening the week of Computex, which starts on June 2nd, okay? So there's there's 2 PCs being given away, so make sure that you guys are gonna tune in for that stuff. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds left, guys.
And then for anyone in the area who might be going to DreamHack Dallas, there will be a group of Robeytech people there if you're
That's
interested.
right, yes, and you guys are going to get to hang out with that stuff. Now, while we're waiting for this to finish, guys, I did want to talk about just a regular Robeytech sponsor that we always have. So I wanted to cover that really while we're waiting. And we're not going to draw the winner until this is done, Blondie, okay? So, not going to draw the winner until this one is done. So just as an FYI.
I will be a Rexus.
Okay. So say, for instance, you get done with a PC like this, and then you're like, hey, I want to go ahead and pick up a copy of Windows. Well, where could I pick something like that up? Well, you can pick up Windows at places like Newegg or Best Buy or anything like that, but you can also get them up at VIP/CDKdeals.com. It's a great place to save money on copies of Windows, and then they're a longtime sponsor here, the team at Robeytech. So if you just go here, let's take a look. Here's Windows 11 Pro, regularly $250, but you can pick it up here for $32.45, or better yet, let's pick up Windows 10 Pro for $23.65. So you hit Buy Now, and then when you hit Buy Now and you use RBCK at checkout, so Buy Now, and then use RBCK at checkout and hit apply. What was $23.65 drops all the way down to $16.55. So if you think about buying, now remember this is an OEM key, you can only use it once, and as long as you don't change your motherboard, for the most part, everything else you can kind of change out. But again, you can buy literally 10 copies of OEM versus a normal retail copy if you were going to build that many PCs. The other thing too is, what about Office? Say for instance you don't want to use Office 365, you want to just buy an Office and not have to worry about it. Here's Office 2016 Pro, regularly $250. You can pick it up here for $39.62. But kind of same deal, hit Buy Now, use code RBCK at checkout, hit apply, and what was $39.62 drops all the way down to $27.73. So again, for just great prices on copies of Windows or Office, and you just want to save some money, especially if you're building a new PC, check it out, VIP/CDKdeals.com, and hit, and then use code RBCK at checkout for your opportunity to save some money. So again, huge shout out to them for being such a big sponsor, and I appreciate their support as well. Okay guys, giveaway's now closed. Get ready to pull a winner. Blondie's gonna pull it here in just a second. Congratulations to Brendan's Games. Brendan's Games, congratulations, you are the winner of the 14900K. Congratulations, Brendan. Okay, we're gonna confirm, guys, don't leave yet. We're gonna confirm. Let's make sure that that's the winner and all that sort of stuff. So stand by. She's gonna just, once we get confirmation, because we've actually had people who, I'm guessing given his name, I'm guessing he is a legit, and we don't have to worry about something scary. So yeah, just stand by for 1 second, and then we'll confirm and then let it go. We're just gonna confirm that the winner, and then we'll call it a day, guys. While we're waiting for confirmation, again, guys, no streams really next week. Maybe a couple game streams, but nothing too major. But then we are going to be back in force the week of Computex, streaming directly from Taipei, Taiwan, to show you guys all of the latest and greatest stuff right from there. We have Be Quiet and we have NZX, Be Quiet and Intel on Wednesday morning, basically giving away a PC with Be Quiet and giving you all of the dish and stuff from Intel Live. Then again, that evening we'll be streaming with NZXT, giving you guys all of the information they've got, plus a tour of their booth, and we're building and giving away a PC with them. Thursday, we're going to be chilling with NVIDIA, giving you a tour of all their stuff and everything that they've announced. You guys will be hanging out there with Jacob. And then also sometime during then, we'll also be doing a stream with Asus. We just don't know when. So all of those things are still happening. So we'll get you the schedule by sometime next week, so you guys can make sure that you set your clocks, because they'll be kind of all over the place to make sure that you guys can get the best viewing. So yeah, I'm going to do probably Ghost of Tsushima. That's on my list. I think that's what we'll probably end up doing, Araxis, using my MSI Titan, which is a beastly laptop, so it will still be an amazing game experience for me too. So anyway, congratulations. Did we get confirmed from
Blondie just said confirmed.
Okay, there we are. We are confirmed. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. A huge shout out to Newegg and to Intel for sponsoring this show. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys hopefully next week. If not, we'll see you guys from Computex. Thanks for streaming. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you guys later.